What's up? This is Vincent from the Acacia Strain, and you're watching Solace Music Metal TV shit.
What's up, guys? Kyle here for Solace Music TV. I'm here with Vincent from the Acacia Strain. How's it going, man?
It's going.
It's going?
It's going.
So you're on tour right now with Counterparts, Kubla Khan, Fit for an Autopsy. Unfortunately, Kubla Khan couldn't make it, so...
Nope, they're irresponsible.
Do you know what, happened with that? Because, they came last time in May, no problem, and now...
Yeah, it's just, one of those things where sometimes you forget your passport at home in Texas when you're supposed to bring it on tour with you.
Oh.
Just one of those things.
It's one of those silly mistakes. Yeah. So, finally got to see you guys. Last year, we were supposed to interview you and see you guys with Amir last year in November, but unfortunately you had van issues.
Yeah, we were parked on the street, and a guy drove into our van and broke it. And that's what happened. Here we are. We're here now, right? And Kubla Khan's not, so figure that out.
What an idiot. So anyways, moving on. So you guys have a nice Christmas light set up in your van because we're approaching the Christmas holiday.
We are.
What do you want Santa to bring you this year?
It's not a thing he can bring me, but if he could get everyone that I know to leave me alone, that would be great. Because that's all I want, is to be left alone.
That's all?
Really, it's it. I mean, I've been on tour for 2 months straight, and when you're on tour, it's like you can't ever be by yourself because you're constantly surrounded by dudes on tour and people on the shows and stuff like that. So it's like I could use a good month of just not talking to any human being. It would be tight.
I could totally get that from being on tour for so long.
Yeah, it's really, I just want to hang out with my dogs and be left alone for Christmas. Sorry, Mom.
That's a nice and easy wish Santa can bring you.
If you could just lock everyone up that I know in a room and tell them to leave me alone.
So last year, you guys came out with Coma Witch.
Sure did.
So let's talk about that a bit. So I read online somewhere that it's a concept album.
Sure.
Is that true?
Yes.
Can you explain the concept?
No. Yeah, of course I can. Basically, the record's about sleep disorders, like night terrors and insomnia and just the crazy stuff that happens to your brain when you're either trying to sleep or asleep. You're not really in control. And it's one of those things where, what would happen if you have, horrible, paralyzing nightmares or, anything like that, and then you're stuck in a coma. You're basically trapped in your own brain, and you have no control over it, and it just feels like life. And the whole record reflects, problems that I had when I was either nightmares that I had while writing the record or problems I had while, trying to find peace in slumber. And it kind of, I guess it all ties together. There's some loose ends that I didn't really get to tie up, but I think it ties together pretty nicely.
That's awesome. So, you're just channeling out basically what you've been feeling?
Yeah, every record is a I guess it's a concept in the way that I go through feelings when writing, and that's just where I was at when it came to writing Coma Witch, I guess.
So as we approach the end of the year, I'm wondering, are you guys working on your next album for next year?
Sure. We have some stuff in the works. Nothing's official. Nothing's been announced. There's a bunch of bureaucratic political shit that I can't talk about, or I'll get yelled at by people or whatever. But we're always working on new stuff. I have pages of just notebooks of lyrics that I'm ready to unleash. So we're always busy.
Any plans that you can let us know for next year so far?
We're going to Japan in January.
That's awesome. Have you guys been there before?
I've been there a couple of times. There's some new dudes in the band that have never been, and they're very excited to go. I've never been in the wintertime, so it should be, I guess, magical. I just keep seeing the part of Kill Bill where she cuts the top of Orenishi's head off. That's all I keep seeing. That's what I want. I want to do that. I want to cut someone's head off.
Let's hope you don't get your head cut off.
I wouldn't care if I did. I'd be dead, you know?
Yeah, there's nothing you can do at that point. So, moving on.
Moving on from decapitation
Decapitation to something a bit more positive in a way. So, I've been watching some live sets of you guys on YouTube, and I've noticed, like, you start kind of, like, preach about, like, negativity and, like, turning that into a positive thing. Can you, like, go into depth a bit about that?
A lot of people get down on Acacia Strain because they say, you know, have enough positivity and we're just a hateful band and blah, 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 and we're angry and this and that. But we're angry for a reason, I guess. And we think that, you know, positivity is great, I guess. You know, if you want to live a PMA lifestyle and just be happy all the time, that's your prerogative. But we feel that humanity and human beings, your emotions are going to run the gamut. It's going to be a whole spectrum of things, not just happiness and positivity. And if you deny yourself the natural human right to be angry, you're denying yourself something that just comes naturally to you. It's going to get stuck inside you, and it's going to fester and rot. And you might go crazy. You might stab someone. And what we want to put out there is that we're angry on stage because that's where we can do it in a positive way. You know, everybody needs to find something that they can take all that negative emotion and turn it into something good. I started a band. You know, I drive around the country with my friends, and I'm in a good mood like a good part of the day. When I get on stage, that's my time to just let it all out. And if you talk to me after a show, I will be smiling and I will be happy. And it's because I had what I feel like a weight just lifted off my shoulders. And I feel like everybody needs something like that. You know, whether you are in a band or you're just a mosher or a pitter, you know, like that is a release for a lot of people. And they'll wake up in the morning and they'll be in, you know, physical pain, but mentally they'll be like, I feel better because I had an outlet, you know, and everybody needs one. And that's why these people, you know, it's misplaced anger. A lot of the things, like you see someone murder someone or you see someone like treat their family like shit. It's because they don't have a real release and they don't know what to do with their sadness or anxieties. They don't have an outlet. They work a fucking 9 to 5. They're miserable. And then they get home and they take out their 9 to 5 misery on their family. And it's because it's a terrible thing, you know, and you need an outlet for everything. That way you can actually be happy and not just say PMA, you know.
Yeah, it's honestly great. I love how you put that.
I try. It's just like, I talk about it a lot every night, and it's just like, I'm trying to think of how to put it into words, not on stage, I guess, you know.
Are we going to get that speech tonight, too?
Not anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no one else, just me. We just need to hear that, that's all.
Yeah.
So a couple nights ago, apparently Derek from State Champs did guest vocals. What song did he do?
He did the chorus of Beast.
That's awesome. Was he screaming or singing?
He was screaming.
That's awesome. I don't know, because I couldn't imagine, like...
You think you would do, like, Derek Stee's vocals over an angry song? No, he knows how to use his vocal cords, obviously.
Yeah.
And he did a great job, and I want to see it on video. Like, everybody's like, I got it on video, and no one sent it to me. But as soon as I get a copy of him doing it, I'll put it up on the internet, and you'll see a different side of Derek, I guess. Yeah. He was wearing a coat while he was doing it, too, so it was like he was just sweating.
Did not expect that when I read that.
I kind of, like, texted Tony from State Champs, and I was like, Derek's doing Beast. And I was joking, but he took it seriously, and it was awesome, you know.
Oh, my God.
Now I'm going to do Secrets.
Actually.
No. I can't sing at all.
That'd be great. Just come out and scream and just, like, make it all heavy.
I'm bad at a lot of things, and singing is one of them.
I notice, like, well, I don't notice, but, like, a lot of, like, vocalists who, like, scream, like, they tell me that, like, they started with singing, but I guess you just started with screaming? You started with singing?
Nothing strengthens your vocal cords like belting out Nirvana. You know, like, what I did to strengthen my voice. And I tell everyone this. People who are like, well, how do you like get, because every time I scream my voice hurts. It's like, what you have to do is you have to find a CD that has a lot of singing on it, mostly singing, that you know all of the words, put it in your car on a long drive and just sing the whole thing. And that helps. Like for me, it was NoFX Punk and Drublick. For me, I know every word to that record. It's 35 minutes long. It's perfect for just because Fat Mike does a lot of fucking. He's a nasally guy, so it's a lot of highs, and it's good for just strengthening your diaphragm and your core and learning how to sing with the top of your, this area, over your tongue and not just, so you don't sound like.
Yeah, you don't want to sound like that.
No one does, unless that's your thing. I guess you're in a band and that's your thing. Is like a.
That sounds like some like.
Yeah, so sing. If you want to do brutal lows or whatever, the best way to strengthen your voice is to sing.
For sure, I can see that happening. I used to like do vocals in a band.
And the best time to do it is when you're alone in your car, because no one wants to hear you sing. No one. I can guarantee it. Not even your mom.
And it's good for when you're practicing screaming while driving because of road rage. In case you get angry, just scream.
I've never done that.
I've done that before.
It's mostly, I'd say, aggressive vocals like screaming and stuff like that it's like 75% adrenaline, because someone could be like, oh, give me a fucking growl, dude, and
I hate that.
I just can't do it. Like, I need to be in the moment, and just that's what it is. It's all people. We scream because we have something to scream about, because we feel it, and a lot of people don't understand, like, oh, it's just yelling. It's like, no, like the most effective way to get your point across to somebody is to yell.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's all of that emotion just coming out of your mouth. And I'm not saying that singing isn't emotional, but I just can't do it.
True, for sure. I get that. Is there any like non-heavy music you guys listen to?
We all listen to non-heavy music most of the time. Right now, in this van playing is Christmas music. Right now, the van is running, the lights are on, and Christmas music is playing. I've listened to nothing but Christmas music since November 1st.
Really?
Except for the new Kubla Khan record. I've listened to that once, but then I went back to Christmas music. I'm very seasonal when it comes to music.
What are you going to be listening to after Christmas?
Couldn't tell you.
Just comes as it happens.
Just real depressing shit, because January and February are just awful. Awful months. I don't know. It's just got to come to me, I guess. Having Spotify is like a crazy thing, because you have literally most of the music in the entire world, and having a selection, like being able to have selections like that is like almost impossible to zone in on one thing. It sucks.
Yeah, it sucks, but it is awesome.
It is.
I love Spotify. Yeah. It brings you to a lot of new music too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I've discovered a lot of new stuff through Spotify. It's cool.
Yeah, awesome. Anyways, that concludes my questions for today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.